It's not. I don't accept that fact of allowing it legal in this country.
I don't know.
I feel it should be adopted because what's the essence of living this life with sickness?
I think it would be a great idea.
Everyone has a right to life, and if they want to end that right, I feel like it's their choice.
It should be accepted. Yes, I get the fact that if we allow it or if there's no limit to it, right, people can easily, especially those who are sick, can easily get to abuse it.
So the topic of euthanasia on infants.
So I feel, first of all, that euthanasia is not a bad thing for me.
Hello, people. We are live in the city of Ibadan yet again on the street to continue our interviews on the topic euthanasia. Now, while we've spoken to a number of people, we've had controversial and empathetic points of views. Due to the fact that we've been focused mainly on infant euthanasia, let's see what people have to think about adult euthanasia. Let's walk straight into the minds of people together. Hi, Ma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So we would like to get your opinion on a very strategic topic. So I'm going to paint a scenario for you. So say a couple they just got married, newlyweds, and they have a child that has been diagnosed with terminal illness, even from the womb. We just want to know, like, what is your opinion? Do you think they should, if there's an option of euthanasia, which is a term for painless killing or mercy killing, to help the child? This child is going to be in and out of the hospital, suffering basically on life support. So do you think it's okay to accept euthanasia as a concept, or you think they should go ahead and keep taking care of a child?
No, as parents, it's easy. Both situations is easier said than done. So, being on life support or carrying out euthanasia is, I feel it just leaves it to the parents. The parents to know what to do on the long run and whatever is okay for them.
Um, well, this is a very controversial topic and is one of the hardest conversation or argument because you can't actually say this side is right or this side is bad. But for me personally, my take should be that the sacredness of life should still be preserved. Life is life, and it doesn't. If you should start taking into account things that that can warrant someone to take another person's life or even take one's own life, then you know that I don't know how many people will remain today. So some people will hope on the concept of the miracle will happen and with time it might the situation might change, but there are also situations that might never change or are definite. So, but in it, even in those situations, I think that the sacredness of life should still be observed. Because according to traditionally, these things are rejected. They're kind of termed ill because with time, it's just like opening a window today. You open a window today, tomorrow it might be a door that will open. So, what the angle I'm trying to come from is that when you adopt this kind of thing, maybe not now but along the years, yeah, it might give an opening to know to kind of it might deteriorate to something worse that people might not, from there they can draw inferences that okay, because it still boils down to personal judgment or what people think they can endure for another person, especially when the person is ill. So they might justify their actions that, for this person, I can't take care of them, so I should kill them. So it might open the window to such things. So my own take still remains that the sacredness of life should be observed no matter what.
If they have settled it and if they had settled it before the child was born, I think it's necessary. But if they have not, I would rather, as a parent, I will not do such thing because it's I can say it's a pain, a silent killer to me too. Because when I heard or when I see that my own child has been killed, anything happened to it, it can turn to a trauma. It can turn to a little trauma. To me, as a parent, it's not advisable.
Uh, I can see, but that's what I can say for now. Keep praying.
So you feel like prayer can carry peace, pain, and
yes, prayer can do it.
Okay, so the aspect of euthanasia, I actually feel it should be based on consent, right? Now, one of the reasons I feel it should be based on consent is just like the way adoption is. Yes, I know abortion rather is not accepted or is not being regarded as legal in Nigeria, right? But there's still certain consents in which a woman can go ahead to abort, and one of the ways, should I say ways? Yeah, one of the examples of times a woman can be allowed to go into or make do abortion is when she actually needs it. That is, if she does not get the abortion done, she'll get to die, right? She's going to lose her life and also lose the life of the child, right? Now, for the aspect of euthanasia as well, I feel it should be accepted. Yes, I get the fact that if we allow it or if there's no limit to it, right, people can easily, especially those who are sick, can easily get to abuse it, right? But I still feel people should be given the consent to die if they want to, right? Though in Nigeria, suicide is actually a crime, right? If you're being caught wanting to kill yourself, right, then you are going to be, let me use the word, you are going to be sentenced to jail for some terms, right? But for euthanasia, if it is made legal and it is done by the right means, that is, the doctors are the one in charge of it, not like me injecting myself, then it should be legal. I should be willing if I will to die, then I should be allowed to die. So that's my take on it.
I feel it should be adopted because what's the essence of living this life with sickness? So I feel you should be adopted. You should go. Rest in peace.
All right. The nature of this country, I think, it's of two ways, and also it depends on the patient. The patient might choose to adopt the system, that might choose to adopt it, and also, you know, we can't decide for an individual. It's an individual that can decide for him or herself. So it is the patient that needs to decide.
It's not nice. It's, but I can also say inhumane in that sense to allow a child to come to life and then live the rest of his or her life suffering, regretting why he or she is living. So I feel, first of all, that euthanasia is not a bad thing for me. It depends on individual, but for me, I see it as something that is actually helpful in some ways. And also, I feel like if the patient or if the person in question is old enough to make a decision for his or herself, then that's where consent comes in. It's something that we take note of so much in the medical field. We take consent every time from our patients. Oh, do you want us to do it? Can we go on with this and this and this? So if the patient asks for it, and you as a medical personnel, you looked into it and see that this person, for example, a patient with cancer stage 4, it's almost impossible. In fact, it's almost impossible for that person to recover from it, except if divine means that God comes and intervenes in the matter. But for someone like that, and then the person lives his or her life suffering, pain, crying, and all, such a patient, if he or she asks for euthanasia, I feel like it's a way to help the person and also to relieve the patient relatives, the relatives of the burden of taking care of the patient financially, their mental health, and all. So I feel like it's a way to help the person actually, and it's something that we can adopt in Nigeria. We can adopt looking at the situation. Although there are some, and it does not mean that you are not like giving up on the patient and saying, this patient cannot survive and all. It's just like giving the person peace actually.
Well, I have seen people and I've read books, because I read a lot of books, that when people like they're going through so much pain, like let's say sickle cell patients, like they go through so much, and some of them really just want to, do I feel like have peace? Yeah. Do I feel like it's right? Well, everyone has a right to life, and if they want to end that right, I feel like it's their choice, especially when they have very good grounds for it. Like, why do I have to go through so much pain when I can just end it? But there's also the possibility it can get better, right? There's a possibility it can get better, and if it gets better, they won't. Like, it's a possibility, right? Like, it's good and it's bad, but like
Find a common ground.
like there's no common ground to it, because you never know what can actually happen. So like that is a reason for you not to like do something, because when you don't know the pro and the con, or when the pro and con is not fully established yet, I don't think you should do something like that. I don't think it's something that you should do. if person is going to die, like eventually they will, but if they go through that pain and they survive it and they've gone through it, I mean, they'll be able to come out with the testimony of, I did this, I went through this, and I was able to come out of it. But just killing them means that you're just taking an easier way to like end the pain, or an easier way to end the problem, more or less.
I think it depends on the family, right? So for a family that living from hand to mouth, I feel like once they know about the defects, right from they used to do scan, I feel like they can just terminate the pregnancy, or maybe they didn't notice. There are some cases that the parent did not notice about the defect until they gave birth to the child. So I feel like they should just give the child a painless day. They should be going, because at the end of the day, the child will still be suffering, even though they decide to be treating the child. They may not even have money for all of the treatments. And in most cases, like I know of few cases, at the end of the day, the child will later died, maybe 6 months. The oldest I know of was like 2 years rather. So he lived up to 2 years and he died. And I was wondering, it got me thinking that after all the money they spend, they are very, very poor, but they are almost at the point the first child have to drop out of school. They have like 5 children. They are poor, and those poor people have plenty children now. So the first child have to drop out of school so that at least the money will reduce. So they spent a lot of money, and I feel so bad. Like I was now thinking, if they have just given the child maybe those painless deaths right from birth, it would have made things easier for them, because like the first child have already lost like years of education now. It will affect him because you have to start from where he stopped, unless he's very, very intelligent. So that kind of situation, I feel like, in my own opinion, although it's like, I feel like they just give the child the painless death.
I think that mercy killing is not, it's not exactly a bad thing considering the perspective behind it. However, in the case of this child now, I think that depends on how critical the situation is. So if the condition is manageable, I mean, you give birth to the child for a reason, right? So if it's manageable, then manage your way. But if it's really like out of hand and cannot be managed either with drugs or constant medical assistance and all of that, if all of that cannot work, then why give birth to a child to come and suffer? Just cuckoo kid the child. Let the child go and rest. Go back to where it's coming from. I mean, you born another one.
Well, I feel the government should adopt the system, and if the parents and the child are also in support of, taking the taking the child's life, I think it would be a great idea, because I know someone that once had this. I'm taking away from the term itself now. That once had this, I think kidney or liver issue, and the person was in serious pain, like serious pains. The family kept on spending and spending. If I were to be in that shoes, yeah, and I've told my wife that, okay, you know what, babe, see, let me just. I think it will save you money, to save you stress and every other thing. So yeah, that's my take on it. That the government should adopt that.
I feel it's not ideal because suicide is not the end of life, and I feel that there's other ways in which they can gain happiness for themselves instead of thinking of ending their lives. I think that sicknesses or anything at all should not be the reason for suicide. So I think there's still more to life.
So the topic of euthanasia on infants, well, I mean, it's a bit tough on. I mean, personally, I have experiences with euthanasia on pets, but then coming to like human. Not to say that pets are less important, but then this is human life we're talking about. No matter whatever the situation or condition is or can be, I think that there's still hope for for the next day and the next and the next. So I don't think any situation whatsoever should allow euthanasia to actually occur. I mean, whatever. I know that I've not had it rough like some people do, and I understand that some people have it rougher than the others. But I'm still saying that there's really no like what's the aim at the end of it? Like you just said it and that's it. But then you're now putting your loved ones in more pain than they probably were, or they probably
were in while you were alive. So I think that I think that we should just we live to fight for another day.
I think it's not. I don't accept that fact of allowing it legal in this country. I don't. I think not. I don't agree with it at all. At all. At all. We have come to the end of the street interview on the topic euthanasia. And while we've walked through people's minds, we have seen that people have their sentiments based on personal biases, religious differences, and some emotions. Now, we've heard the pros, we've heard the cons, we've heard what people think about this topic. What do you think? Do you think it should be incorporated into the Nigeria healthcare system? Do you think euthanasia might be the future? Do you think it might be a solution to people who are in pain? There is no right or wrong. We just want to know what you think.